Have you ever noticed that little things just feel off as you get older? Maybe it's waking up with more stiffness than usual. Or maybe you found yourself feeling more anxious for no real reason. Or lying in bed staring at the ceiling even though you're completely exhausted. It's frustrating when your body starts doing things you can't explain. And even more frustrating when your doctor doesn't seem to have the answers. You go in for your checkup, mention that your muscles are cramping more often, or that you're feeling more sluggish than usual, and you walk out with a prescription or a shrug. But here's the thing most people over 45 don't realize. There's a quiet little mineral behind many of these issues, one that often gets overlooked. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it's essential. And that mineral is magnesium. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, magnesium? That can't be it. Just stick with me for a moment, because this isn't some supplement ad, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to talk with you one-on-one about something that could genuinely change how you feel every day, especially if you're over 60, like many of us are. Magnesium might not be something your doctor brings up during a regular visit. In fact, unless you specifically ask about it or you're severely deficient, it probably won't come up at all. But the truth is, most people over 45 aren't getting enough magnesium, and the symptoms of that deficiency can show up in ways that feel like just getting older, even though they're not. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How magnesium affects your body after 45, why it's so important, and what you can start doing right now to get your levels back to where they should be without adding stress or confusion to your life. So let's start with something almost all of us have dealt with: low energy. You wake up groggy, even after a full night's sleep. You move slower than you used to. That spark you had in your 40s or 50s feels dimmer now. And if someone asks how you're feeling, tired is your go-to answer. Sound familiar? What many people don't realize is that magnesium plays a key role in how our cells produce energy. Every single cell in your body uses magnesium to create ATP. That's the fuel your body runs on. Without enough magnesium, your cells are literally running on empty. You could be eating well, sleeping 8 hours, doing everything right, and still feel exhausted if your magnesium levels are low. But here's where it gets tricky. The tests your doctor might run, they usually only check the magnesium in your blood, and only about 1% of your magnesium is in your bloodstream. The rest is tucked away in your bones and tissues, where it really matters. So even if your test says you're fine, you might not be getting enough where your body actually needs it. And that leads us into another symptom that a lot of people chalk up to aging: anxiety and poor sleep. You feel restless, your mind races at night, or maybe you fall asleep just fine but wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding and no idea why. Magnesium is deeply connected to your nervous system. It helps calm your brain and relax your muscles. It supports the production of GABA, a neurotransmitter that helps you feel peaceful and ready to rest. Without enough magnesium, your body can stay stuck in fight or flight mode, which means stress feels more intense, and it's much harder to wind down. And let's be honest, no one wants to be told they need to just relax when their body is clearly doing the opposite. Here's a story I hear all the time. Someone over 60 comes in feeling tense, having trouble sleeping, maybe dealing with more muscle cramps or even heart palpitations. They've tried everything: melatonin, lavender teas, even sleeping pills, but nothing helps long term. Then they start increasing their magnesium through diet or gentle supplementation, and things begin to shift. They sleep deeper, their muscles don't ache as much, they feel more balanced, emotionally and physically. It's not magic, it's just something their body was missing all along. And speaking of muscles, have you had more twitching, tightness, or random cramps lately, especially at night? Magnesium is a major player in muscle function. It helps muscles contract and relax properly. Without it, they can seize up, twitch, or feel sore even after light activity. Again, many folks assume this is just part of aging, when really it could be a sign of a nutrient deficiency that's easy to address. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but can I really fix this just by eating better? And that's a fair question. The tricky part is, our soil isn't as rich in minerals as it used to be. Even if you're eating fruits and vegetables every day, the magnesium content just isn't what it was 50 years ago. On top of that, things like coffee, alcohol, certain medications, even stress can deplete your magnesium levels even more.
That doesn't mean you have to toss out everything in your pantry or buy expensive pills. There are simple ways to start boosting your magnesium naturally. Foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and even dark chocolate can help. And if you enjoy a nice bath now and then, Epsom salts are a great way to soak in magnesium through your skin. It's relaxing and replenishing. But before we dive deeper into how to increase your intake and what signs to look out for, let's take a moment to sit with this. What you've been feeling may not be just aging. Your body is smart. It talks to you through fatigue, tension, cravings, even mood swings. And when it's not getting what it needs, especially something as crucial as magnesium, it's going to let you know. You don't need to live with exhaustion, tight muscles, and restless nights. You deserve to feel calm, rested, and energized, no matter your age. And it starts with listening to your body and giving it what it's asking for. When you really stop and think about it, your body is like a lifelong friend. It tries its best to support you every day, even when you don't realize it. And just like any relationship, when there's a disconnect, you start to feel it. Maybe it's in the form of that wired but tired feeling at night, or the way your legs ache more after a simple walk, or even the occasional dizzy spell you can't quite explain. These little moments may not seem connected at first, but magnesium might be playing a bigger role than you think. Let's talk about something that affects many people after 45, especially women: bone health. We hear a lot about calcium when it comes to keeping bones strong, especially after menopause. You've probably seen those commercials about calcium supplements, or had your doctor tell you to drink more milk. But what rarely gets mentioned is that without magnesium, calcium can't do its job properly. In fact, if you take calcium without enough magnesium, it might actually cause more harm than good. Here's what I mean. Magnesium helps regulate how calcium is absorbed and used in the body. Without it, calcium can end up in the wrong places, like your joints, kidneys, or even arteries, instead of being directed into your bones, where it belongs. That's part of why people can develop things like kidney stones or stiff, achy joints, even while trying to do the right thing for their bones. Magnesium acts like a traffic director for calcium, making sure it's going where it's supposed to go. And if you've ever dealt with brittle nails, dental issues, or increased bone loss on a scan, it might be worth asking yourself not just, am I getting enough calcium, but am I giving my body the magnesium it needs to handle that calcium properly? Another area where magnesium has a surprisingly powerful impact is your heart. Your heart is a muscle, after all, and like any muscle, it relies on magnesium to keep beating smoothly. When your magnesium levels are low, your heart may feel like it's skipping beats, fluttering, or racing. Some people even mistake this feeling for anxiety or panic attacks. Now, I'm not saying magnesium is the magic fix for every heart issue. Definitely not. But it can help regulate your heartbeat and support better cardiovascular health overall. Studies have shown that people with higher magnesium intake tend to have lower blood pressure and a reduced risk of stroke. That's not just some health headline. It's something that can make a real measurable difference in how long and how well you live. And what's incredible is that so many of us go years without knowing that we're even running low on this essential mineral. It's not your fault. It's just not talked about enough. But when you start to piece things together, the tight muscles, the poor sleep, the random heart flutters, the bone thinning, it becomes clear that magnesium could be the missing link in your wellness puzzle. So what can you actually do about it? Well, first, you don't need to rush out and start taking high doses of supplements. In fact, that can backfire for some people. Instead, start by looking at your everyday habits and where small changes could make a big difference. Think about your meals. Do you get leafy greens regularly, like spinach, kale, or even a simple romaine lettuce salad? These are naturally rich in magnesium. Or how about almonds, cashews, or pumpkin seeds? Just a small handful can offer a powerful boost. And let's not forget beans. Black beans, chickpeas, lentils, all affordable and easy to add to soups or salads. One surprisingly enjoyable source of magnesium? Dark chocolate. Yes, really. A small square of quality dark chocolate, preferably 70% cocoa or higher, isn't just a treat. It's a mineral-rich superfood. Just don't go overboard, of course. And here's something you might not hear often. Stress drains magnesium. Every time your body goes into stress mode, whether from worry, lack of sleep, or even physical pain, it uses up magnesium more quickly. So if you've been under a lot of stress lately, and let's be honest, who hasn't? Your need for magnesium might be even higher than usual. That's why self-care isn't just a luxury, it's part of your health plan. Something as simple as taking a walk in nature, spending time with a good book, or doing some gentle stretches in the morning can help your body hold on to the nutrients it needs.
And speaking of gentle habits, let's come back to those Epsom salt baths for a moment. You may have heard of them for sore muscles, but many people don't realize that Epsom salts are made of magnesium sulfate. When you soak in them, your skin actually absorbs magnesium directly. It's a wonderfully calming way to support your body, especially before bed. Light a candle, put on some soft music, and let your body relax and replenish. If you're someone who takes medications regularly, especially for blood pressure, diabetes, or acid reflux, it's also important to know that many of these can deplete magnesium over time. Again, it's not something your doctor might mention right away because it's often seen as a minor detail. But it's not minor when you're living with the effects every day. None of this is about overhauling your entire life. You don't need to chase perfection. You just need to start becoming aware of what your body may be asking for. And magnesium might be one of those quiet cries for help that's easy to overlook, but simple to address. So as you go about your day, maybe take a moment to notice how you feel. Are you more tired than usual? Feeling tense in your shoulders or neck? Having trouble sleeping? These aren't just random quirks. They might be signs that your body needs a little extra support. And the beautiful part is, support is available. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It can start with a few changes in your kitchen, some new bedtime habits, or simply becoming more intentional about how you care for yourself. You've made it this far in life, and that alone is something to celebrate. But the journey isn't over, not by a long shot. There's still so much more life to live, and when your body is nourished and supported, everything feels a little bit easier, a little bit brighter. You know, one of the most powerful things about learning how magnesium affects your body is that it gives you back a bit of control. For so many of us over 60, it's easy to feel like our bodies are doing things without our permission, slowing down, stiffening up,
or reacting in ways we don't fully understand. But when you start to recognize that some of these changes are signals, not sentences, it opens the door to feeling better, not just older.
And that brings us to another piece of the puzzle that magnesium quietly influences: digestion. Now, I know this isn't always the most glamorous topic, but let's be real. Constipation, bloating, and irregularity become more common as we age. It's frustrating. You eat the right foods, drink water, maybe even take fiber, and still feel uncomfortable or sluggish. But here's where magnesium comes in again. Magnesium helps muscles throughout your body work properly, and that includes the muscles in your digestive tract. It supports something called peristalsis, which is just a fancy word for the wave-like movements that help move food through your system. Without enough magnesium, those muscles can slow down or stiffen, making digestion sluggish and irregular. That's why one of the most common uses of magnesium supplements, especially magnesium citrate, is to gently relieve constipation. But even before turning to supplements, many people notice that once they increase magnesium-rich foods or add a calming nightly routine that includes magnesium, things start moving a little better. And that makes a big difference in how you feel every day. Let's also take a moment to talk about inflammation. It's something you hear about a lot in the health world. Chronic inflammation being linked to heart disease, joint pain, diabetes, and even memory loss. But what's not talked about enough is how magnesium plays a role in helping to reduce that inflammation. When your body is low on magnesium, it can trigger the release of stress hormones and inflammatory signals, which can keep your system in a constant low-level state of stress. That can lead to everything from achy joints to brain fog. And the worst part? You might not even realize it's happening. You just think, I'm getting older, and this is what older feels like. But no, this isn't about getting old. This is about getting out of balance. And the more you support your body with what it needs, the more it supports you in return. That mental clarity we often worry about losing, magnesium has a hand in that too. It plays a role in how your brain communicates with itself. Some research has even shown that people with higher magnesium levels tend to have better cognitive function and lower rates of age-related decline. And while it's not some miracle cure, it does suggest something pretty powerful, that keeping your magnesium levels steady might help you stay sharp and focused for longer.
If you've ever found yourself searching for a word mid-sentence or walking into a room and forgetting why, you're not alone. It happens to everyone now and then. But when it starts happening more often, it's worth asking, not just, is this normal, but what could my body be missing? And here's the part that really brings it home. Magnesium isn't just about avoiding problems. It's also about increasing the quality of your everyday life, feeling calmer, sleeping more deeply, moving without pain, thinking more clearly, enjoying your meals, your walks, your quiet moments. Because you're not here just to exist. You're here to enjoy your life, to wake up each day with a little more lightness, a little more comfort, a little more ease. And magnesium can help you get there, one step at a time. Let me share something I hear often from people once they begin paying attention to their magnesium intake. They say things like, I don't feel as tense anymore, or I didn't realize how much of a cloud I'd been living under until it lifted. One woman told me, I used to feel like I was dragging myself through the day. Now I have energy to go for walks with my granddaughter again. That's what this is about. It's not about reversing time. It's about reclaiming your time, feeling like yourself again, maybe even better than you felt in years. And if you're wondering where to start, the best advice I can give is this: keep it simple. Add a handful of spinach to your omelet.
Snack on a few almonds or walnuts. Enjoy a warm bath in the evening. Pay attention to how you feel after these changes. Your body will tell you, often very quickly, when it's getting what it needs. If you do consider supplements, talk to a pharmacist or a practitioner you trust. Magnesium glycinate is often well tolerated, especially for sleep and stress. Magnesium citrate is helpful for digestion. Start small, go gently. This isn't a race, it's a return. And don't underestimate the power of consistency. Taking care of yourself isn't about grand gestures. It's about those little daily choices that add up. The warm meals, the quiet moments, the willingness to listen to your body instead of ignoring it. So let me just say this, you're not broken. You're not just getting old. Your body is wise. It's been through a lot. And with a little support, it's capable of more healing and balance than you might imagine.
Magnesium is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a piece that's often missing. And once it's back in place, you might be surprised by how much lighter, calmer, and more vibrant life starts to feel. If there's one thing I hope you take away from all of this, it's that your health isn't out of your hands. Not now, not ever. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, your body is still capable of responding, of healing, of growing stronger and more balanced with just a little extra care. And sometimes that care starts with something as simple as giving your body more of what it's quietly been missing, like magnesium. Now let's take a step back and think about how far you've come. You've made it through years of challenges, responsibilities, changes in your health, your family, your routine. You've adapted, you've pushed through, and you've learned to listen more closely to what your body is trying to tell you. That's not something everyone does, but you're here, you're learning, and that means more than you might realize. Magnesium might not be flashy. It's not the latest trend, and it doesn't get the attention that things like collagen or probiotics do these days. But it's quietly powerful. It supports your sleep, your energy, your digestion, your bones, your heart, your brain, even your mood. And the best part? It doesn't take a huge lifestyle overhaul to start feeling the benefits. You might begin with one small shift, maybe a magnesium-rich breakfast or switching out a late-night snack for something nourishing like yogurt with pumpkin seeds. Maybe tonight, instead of falling asleep with the TV blaring, you soak your feet in warm water and Epsom salts, letting your body unwind without noise or rush. You might be surprised what a difference even that can make. How your muscles feel a little looser, your breath a little deeper, your mind a little quieter. That's your body saying, "Thank you." And the more you listen, the more it responds. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's not about counting every milligram or chasing some impossible health standard. It's about tuning in, paying attention, and being kind to yourself. You've spent decades caring for others, your kids, your partner, your job, your community. It's okay now to turn some of that care inward. And here's the truth. Health at this stage of life isn't about restriction. It's about nourishment. Not just in what you eat, but in how you move, how you rest, how you treat yourself. Magnesium is just one part of that, but it's a powerful starting place. And if you've ever felt dismissed by a doctor or rushed through an appointment without answers, please know that you're not alone. That frustration you feel when something doesn't feel right, but no one's really listening, that matters. Your instincts matter. And when it comes to something like magnesium, it's often overlooked because it's considered simple. But as you've seen, simple doesn't mean unimportant. Sometimes the simplest changes are the most profound. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Start observing. Pay attention to your body like you would a garden. What's thriving? What's wilting? What might need a little more sunlight, a little more water, or in this case, a little more magnesium? Start small, stay curious, and give yourself time. The changes may be quiet at first,
but they're powerful. More restful sleep, fewer muscle cramps, better digestion, a calmer mind, a steadier heartbeat. These are luxuries. They're the foundation of a good life. And I want to encourage you to share your experience. If you've started making changes or if this video made something click for you, let me know in the comments. I read every message.
You never know. Your story might inspire someone else who's been feeling the same things but didn't have the words for it yet. And if you found this helpful, please take a second to give the video a thumbs up. It helps more people find this information, especially folks who might be struggling in silence and don't even realize that magnesium could be part of the solution. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I post videos like this to help you feel more empowered in your body and your health, because getting older doesn't mean fading away. It means becoming more tuned in, more resilient, and yes, even more alive. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to wake up with energy, to sleep through the night, to move freely, and to enjoy your days with peace of mind and strength in your step. And if magnesium can help you get there, well, now you've got the knowledge and the tools to take that first step. So here's to small changes. Here's to listening in. And most of all, here's to you, living your best life at any age, one healthy choice at a time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.